Hi everyone, my name is Victor. I'm here to talk about VOC-APP, which is a vocabulary application that I have been working on lately for Career Foundry's UX design course. I hope you'll enjoy it. Let's begin. Um, I'd like to tell you the story how this app was created, and just like every story, this one as well has a main character. Her name is Rebecca. Rebecca is a high school teacher and teaches English at a very good school in Hungary. She is young and very passionate. Her main goal is to teach her students English very well with a rich and versatile vocabulary. She keeps studying herself and constantly updating her own vocabulary to be able to have better conversations and, of course, to be a better teacher. Rebecca is currently at home looking after her 1 year old baby. She's got another kid at school and a loving husband. She wants to use the time when she's free of her duties to educate herself and possibly her family. In the past, she liked taking notes while she studied. She tried to keep track of her progression to see what to improve more and keep herself motivated. These days, her habits did not change much, except that she uses her phone more often rather than pen and paper. So basically, Rebecca would like an application that could help her with her job and studies. An app that is easy to use, doesn't interrupt her with constant advertising, allows her to track her progression, has fun features, and most importantly, it is a useful tool to study with. So, Rebecca needs a way to teach herself and her students new words to update their vocabulary because they all want to get better to express themselves and have better language skills. We'll know this to be true when we see that Rebecca is able to use our app in order to learn new words, to improve herself, and to teach her students too. So, just like everybody else, Rebecca as well faces some challenges. Um, Rebecca sometimes doesn't feel too confident about her language skills as she works in an environment where her colleagues are well educated. She wants to be able to keep up good conversation and express herself better at meetings so that she'll feel better about herself and skills. Sometimes she just uh, cannot remember a word. But I mean, come on, it happens to all of us sometimes that we just can't spit out something that we just wanted to say. So it happens to all of us. But Rebecca is a perfectionist. She's also just way too busy. Sometimes she's a married woman and a mother of two, so sometimes she's very busy to find some free time to study. And it's very important for her to get even more educated, and she wants to educate her family as well constantly to have meaningful conversations with them. And then at school, at her job, she's basically dealing with young people, and then sometimes they can be quite challenging as yeah, students can be easily distracted, especially these days with mobile phones, whatever. And then so she basically wants to have a really fun method to get their full attention while they learn useful skills. Um, so based on what I learned about Rebecca, I started thinking of a vocabulary app that might satisfy Rebecca's needs and hopefully will meet her expectations. I started drawing very basic concepts, how it would be built up, the functions that I had in mind for the app. So these were the very first sketches, and then I did this mainly to see how I would be able to go from one screen to the other, what would happen if I clicked on a certain button, and then it basically turned into this, looking a little bit better. Where I had basically a more detailed picture how it would actually look like, and then I started working on them with more precision, make them look better. something that we can actually work with, starting with the splash screen where we can log in or create an account, and then finally we can get to the home screen. And then on the home screen we could navigate, we could open like a user account and then the menu, or a certain lesson like an English Hungarian lesson that we would want to learn, and that would also, let's say, like show us our progression. And then once the lesson is open, we can add a new word to that certain lesson, and then or like play flashcards. That could be a very fun and useful function to study new words. And then as I had a working prototype after the wireframing and the prototyping, I started doing usability tests. To be honest, I was very curious about how the testers would find using the app, like how they would find its functionalities. So I decided to have them test the onboarding process, starting with the splash screen, going to the home screen, and then on the home screen how they would navigate the app, and then and after that how they would add a new word, and then finally play flashcards. I wanted these functions tested, as I think this is what Rebecca would like to see and use in this application too. Based on what we learned about Rebecca, she obviously would like an app that is easy to use. So I wanted to see how the testers interact with all these functions, the onboarding, the navigation, adding a new word to be easy and straightforward. And as for the flashcards, I wanted that not only easy to use, but also fun to play with. So based on the user tests, I learned that they use the app with ease. They did not really have problems with its functionality. They have suggested a few updates here and there. So let me just show them to you. So basically, one of the participants pointed out that a forgot your password option would be nice by the sign in. So we did that right there. And then they also suggested that we could have like a history and a setting buttons in the menu. So we added them. And then also that we could have menu actually written in the menu on the top of the screen, and then to separate the log out button in the menu from the rest of the buttons basically. So I did that as well. And then they also suggested that it would be cool to have like an option to upload a photo in the account settings. So we did that too. And then on the home page, I was told maybe it would be cool to have like a little profile icon to access the account settings or the user profiles straight away, not only from the menu. So have like a quick access to that. And then also they suggested to make the progression bar on the lessons a bit more visible, so they can see what was already progressed and what is left to progress. And then within the lesson, they suggested that the quick button was basically exactly the same like the other buttons, and then someone told me it would be better if it was a little bit less significant, as maybe users don't want to focus on quitting while they are studying. So actually I made it smaller than the other buttons, and then I renamed it also for finish. I was also told to have maybe little sun icons by the words that you can click on, and it helps you with the pronunciation. And then basically, as for the next steps, this application is still in its very early development, so there is a lot to improve. I would like to give it maybe more functions in the future, like it would be nice if they could create a lesson, make the search functions available as well. Although I don't want to overcomplicate it or make it something more than what it's supposed to be. So I want it a simple and easy to use language app, just what Rebecca would want. And finally, maybe focus on the UI as well a little bit, like to make it look nicer. I want to master Figma and then just make it look like a real app, maybe um, something like this one here, rather than that I just drew with my hand, which still looks nice, but this one looks even nicer. Um, and then So yeah, that's pretty much that. Just to summarize up my experience, I gotta say it was a pretty intense few weeks that is behind me. I really enjoyed it. Um, as the whole world of UX design is still very new to me, everything I created or read during this process, basically, it was a great lesson. It was really exciting to start the whole project with user interviews and creating the user persona. I think the whole process requires quite a lot of patience, as we have to revisit tasks that we maybe thought were already behind us. For instance, I had to revisit the information architecture to make it better, or the wireframes, especially after the user testings, to do the changes I learned over the user tests. But I really enjoyed those as well. So all in all, I love what I learned, and then I like that there is an actual a project came out of this learning process that I can see and show to others. Hopefully, there will be more that makes me and others happy. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this journey. Thank you very much for your time um, watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed it, and I see you later.